Yep. Welcome to another edition of our Facebook Live here from UZIN. We're at our campus in one of our training rooms we have here. So tonight we're going to look at some of our new products that we've introduced and explain the benefits and features you can have of using them, but also giving you a little bit more confidence in regards to that. If you've got any questions during the evening or during the hour session, just drop a message and we'll do our best to answer them as we go, and then go from there. And it's been a while since we've done one of these, so just bear with us for as the night goes on. So the first product we're going to look at tonight is the new DPM that we've launched. Okay, so our PE 481. So PE 481 is a true epoxy DPM. It's a one coat system, very easy to apply, and obviously it's got a really fast drying time and a great coverage. So with the system, it comes in a cardboard box. That's all to do with health and safety. It stops it falling over in your vans and stuff like that, but it just makes it safe. But before we do anything to do with epoxies, remember guys, and you've heard me say this quite a few times before, it's very important that we make sure when we're using products that contain certain things that we have long sleeve t-shirts on, gloves, and actually you're supposed to have completed some training in regards to using some adhesives and some of these types of DPMs. It's an online test. If you want more information on that, drop us a message and we can send you the links to the companies that do the online testing. So, just going to open the box up. And inside here is a drum of the system. So basically what you have here is your find the little label there for now. I'll just pull it out. So basically in the bottom part is your resin, which I'll show you in a minute, and the top part there is your hardener. But before we go any further, it's always good practice when we're looking at DPMing jobs and stuff like that. If we're going to be mixing the product up, we shouldn't really be mixing on the floor we're putting it down on, or we shouldn't be, ideally we want to avoid spillages, so always put down a bit of old floor covering or something like that to get it mixed. I might do a little demo later to show you what can go wrong in regards to do that. So I'll just flip this back a little bit just so I can get a little. Okay, and then just gingerly scrape out any them last bits. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just keep a little bit of that, and I'm just going to pour a bit on the floor, so maybe with the front of the camera you can see what happens if you get a spillage later on. Now I know what you're all thinking, I am not going to mix it using the stick. Okay, so it's always important that we mechanically whisk these types of products, whoever's they are. We should always do that with them. So with this case we're going to use a spiral whisk. and just drop it in and just whisk it up. We won't really mix for a minute and a half, just 2 minutes, make sure everything's blended together nicely. So what you'll see with this, it's a little bit more like the other types of DPMs on the market, a bit more traditional, black in colour, got that type of consistency. It shows that flex you have in some of the DPMs. And it's good to be used on old properties where there's no structural membrane. It can cope with that moisture. And as I said earlier on, up to 99.9% as well. So we mix the product up. Now, when you're dealing with products like this, once we've mixed the two parts together, the part A and part B, or the hardener and the resin, what we've basically started to happen in that drum at the moment is an exothermic reaction. So with a lot of these products, they get very hot very quickly. So with this product, you've got about 30 to 45 minute working time. So it's got a really long working time. So there's no too much rushing, and it's a 6-hour cure. So I'm just going to pass some of this gear to my lovely assistant. I'll just drop it in that box, who will then take that away. So again, there's a classic. I've spilt a bit. I'm just going to clean it off because I've spotted it. But sometimes on jobs, you won't spot that. So, there you can see on the camera, if I move that, that will show a spillage. As you say, we'll look after to see what you're going to see, what problems that can cause. We get this a lot in the resin flooring world, where you're going to get soft spots and stuff like that for that happening. So we got the product mixed up, it's ready to go. I'll just put my wipes over there out of the way. So what we do with this now is, if we want to control rising moisture, so there's no structural membrane, it's a really old property, and we want to use this product, which is fine, as I've said earlier, we need to apply it at a certain film thickness, which is 350 microns. So in regards to that, how can we gauge that? Very difficult to do it with a paint roller. Probably going to say virtually impossible. So this is where we start troweling it on first. We're going to use, to control rising moisture, because that's 350 microns, a B2 trowel. Okay? The only job of the trowel is to spread it, but it's more about getting that film thickness right. As you can see from the bay I'm in, it was smoothed earlier today, so you can see the dark patches, but it's fine. Not any issue with this product. I've got a brush to go around the edge, but I've also masked up what we're going to do. So again, put some goggles back on. So again, I was on about the drum going off because I've started the action. So the best way to deal with that is pour it out onto the floor where you're going to be working. You take it out of its mass, you've got loads of working time. So as you can see here, I just pour it out on the floor like so. And I think, hopefully I haven't jumped the gun, but while I'm spreading this, we get the slide up, yeah, just to show there. Well, I don't think people want to hear me spreading it, but as you can see, spreads really easy. And while I'm doing some of this, hopefully you can refer to some of the information related to this product. So I'm getting right to the edge. The trowel's out lovely. Great coverage on this. It'll do up to 28 square meters. I'm not going to go too far ahead, obviously, because I just want to make sure I've got the edges in. So again, I'm just going to coat my paintbrush up, just flatten the edges out. Yeah, so I'm not going too close to the roller and wrecking the customer's walls. Making sure I get in everywhere. It just runs out. Yep. So 480, 480 was a lot slower drying. So we've looked for something, and it was a thinner consistency in regards to that, and it tended to sometimes would soak into the slab a little bit in places. This gives you more an even film as you put it on, okay, and it's just faster drying, and again cost effective. It's a lot cheaper than 481. Okay, so we've actually stopped doing 480 now. This has just replaced it, and it's better technology in regards to that. Hopefully that answered the question. Again, going to run that out. Again, for anybody that's never done any DPMing before, just work in sections. Don't go too far ahead that you can't reach, because we're going to need to back roll it. So sorry, I've got the back to you. Again, every stage I'll wet my paintbrush again, just push it in around the edge. Stop there. Now, what we're going to need to do now, hopefully I'll turn back around to the camera so you can see, I'm now going to need to run a paint roller through it, like most DPMs of this type. And the idea of the paint roller is it's going to squash down the high spots into the low spots from my trowel. They're dropping out quite well anyway, but I'll do that. Now the risk we get, and a lot of people sometimes new at doing this, they'll get that roller and they'll just stick it straight into there. And if I do that, you'll see already what that's done is that's took some of the thickness off that I've just spent a couple of minutes putting on with the correct trowel. So it's always important before you run your roller through any type of a system like this, you load your roller up. Really get it full of this stuff. And with this type of products, yeah, it doesn't really matter how thick you put them on. They'll always cure, okay? But there'll always be an issue if they're too thin. So don't worry about the thickness in regards to is it's too thick. Just make sure it's not too thin. So I'm going to have to put a bit more in there where I've took it off. But as you say, very easy and simple to apply. This is the things that we're doing at UZIN. We're always looking for updated systems, better environmentally friendly products with better sustainability credentials, and being more user friendly in regards to what we do. Again, just gonna pour a little bit more out there. Then I'm going to ask my colleague, take that out of my way, please. And we'll go again. So I don't know whether the camera's focused in on this spot where I've spilt some. Have you got that there? So what I'm going to do, and I know, you know, some people will think, oh, I'll work it in on the floor. But while that hardener's been sitting there, it's been soaking into the floor, then that'll always going to cause you problems. So as I take that out of there, you can see it's just not bonding. So it's very, very important, guys, that if you're applying these types of systems, don't mix it where you're going to be applying it. So what will come back tomorrow, and if you come on one of our training courses, if you're here for a couple of days on a 2-day one, we actually show you that. I'll put my finger through that tomorrow and it'll still be wet. Okay, so I'll keep working this way. Now this can also, so this product, say rising moisture, no structural membrane, you can apply this to the floor with confidence. It will do that job. But it can also be used on one of them jobs where, I don't know, you've got doubts with your moisture vapor suppressant type of products. Even though our 404 will work up to 98%. You could also use this in that environment, new build construction, but you just go for an A2 trowel rather than a B2. Okay, so it's going to go further for you. Doesn't need to be as thick because eventually that floor, if it's got a structural membrane, will dry out. So it can be used in that environment as well. So it's one you can just keep on your van. It doesn't matter whether it's an old property or new property. If you've got it with you, you can use it. Okay, so I'm just going to ask for. I just need to switch that one. So I'll just move that one that way a little bit. Okay. Oh. And we'll just finish that off. So you can see it's completely straight. Okay, try it out nice. And I've got a lot of excess here. Guys, don't try and scrape that back into the bucket. Just roll it out onto the floor. It'll never be an issue. And I'll just leave that there for a minute. So I'll just try it out a little bit more. Spread it round. Again, just get my brush. Just catch up with the edges. And guys, it's very, very important if you're doing glue down flooring, LVTs, vinyl sheets and all that type of stuff, that we do measure for moisture. And obviously we take care of it at the same time. Thank you. I'm just going to coat that up as well where my roller's been sitting. And then again, like we did before, I'm just going to roll that flat. Now hopefully you can see for that camera, even if I run a roller over that area, it's just not working, just not blending in. So guys, are really important to avoid that. So that's B481, the replacement for the 480. It's available in all distributors now. And as you say, it's got great coverage, faster drying time, 6 hours to cure. But guys, just remember on drying times, yeah, if it's a cold environment, most epoxies won't cure below 10 degrees. So just think about the temperature. If it's cold in there, be expected to come back tomorrow and it still be curing, as we call it. Now this product works really well with L2. So once this is cured after that 6 hour window, I've then got up to 18 hours to get L2 on the top of it. Okay, so great in regards to that. So again, I'll just pass that out of the way. Just bear with me a second. So I want to just switch one towards this way now. I'll keep that one on there for now. So just for everybody that can see, well we're moving. Just so everybody can see with this one now, it's gone down. Nice uniform thing. You will notice this patchiness. Don't worry about that. That's just the reactions of the chemicals moving together. Okay. So I'm just going to show you. So we obviously joke. We joke here in regards to the Which camera are we looking at, guys? Yeah, that one. Okay. So we joke a little bit about this 99.9%. Well, 100% is actually water. So you can see that from the camera. Yeah. So there's some we poured in there yesterday. So we poured it through the water. So I've got a bucket somewhere. So what I'll do, I'll just drain some of that out. Oh, no, maybe try again. Got it nice tonight. There you go. It's sitting in water. Yeah. It's gone off. It's cured. That's 99.9% RH. If you're interested, you want to know more information, you can get the information from our website, online, all the information on the data sheet and everything you need to know about this product there. If you want further information on the DPM application and you want to come and have a go, then log on to our training page and have a look at them. Or give us a call, or drop us a message. That's DPM, and that's the new 481. Cool. Alright. So, we're keeping busy here tonight. Jesus. Just whip these gloves off. So, next product we're going to look at. We've had, just behind you, mate. We've also, again, as I say, we're reviewing sustainability, environmentally friendly products and stuff like that. So as you can see here, we've now launched, you've probably seen it on social media, a new carpet adhesive. Okay, UZ54, solely for carpets, designed for carpets, all types of carpets, including fibre bonded and stuff like that. Great coverage, it's EC1 plus, so it's great. Use it in old people's homes, schools, and all them type of environments. You haven't got to worry about the odours affecting people. So, and again, it can be used for a double stick installation. So here we go. We've got one leg down on the floor. So, like a proper contract fit and so on, old people's home, hotels, schools and stuff like that. We have debates here on training what colour it is. I think it's got a bit of a pinky tinge, but minimal odour. I know from my fitting days, some of the carpet adhesives I used to use, they did have quite a pungent smell, and obviously some of them, you know, I know of issues where the smell's been that bad of people working in that environment, have had to maybe go home from work early or so on. You don't get that with this. Really healthy, really easy to use. I'm not going to eat it, mine, but yeah. Again, I'm going to put some carpet. I'm going to use a B2 for this one, but the trials vary, size varies depending on what you're doing. I'm just going to put some glue out. As you can see, spreads really well. But it's quite funny with adhesives. I remember many years ago giving a contractor 3 or 4 buckets of adhesive to try, to sample, and it never got used. And when I asked him what the feedback was from lads, he said, well, they didn't like it. So well, it looks to me as if you haven't used them. He said, well, they took the lids off because it didn't smell. They didn't think it was any good. But once you give them a go with it and give them a try, and they realised, actually, this adhesive is great. So it's just interesting, people's perception. Nice cream, it's not too thick, it's got a good grab. initial grab. Again, heavy back carpets and all that type of stuff, it's fine for. Now, be interesting to see if anybody spots what I've just done. I'd be interested to see what comments we get from me doing this at the moment, and if anybody sees what might be wrong with that. And again, these trowels, really easy to use. When you're using these type of fan trowels, a lot of people complain about that your thumb hurts there, but these are designed to make it a little bit easier. Okay, blades are interchangeable. Depending on the type of job you're doing, but if you were going onto a concrete floor now with a trowel blade like this, which is a B2, okay, just remember you're only going to get about 50 square meters before that trowel blade is worn out. And really, you should be changing your trowel blade. And we have to ask ourselves sometimes, do we change our trowel blade for every bucket of adhesive we use? Because that's around about the same coverage in some of these instances. So just think about that. Good thing about the wolf trowel, the blades flip round. You can use them again. And also, for anybody that's ever wondered what that groove is for on the edge of the trowel, designed, I can find it, sits on the bucket like that. Okay? Go, now. We need to let all adhesives have an airing time. You've heard me say this many times before. There's moisture in adhesive, you need water in them to be able to spread them. We're going to let that evaporate off a little bit. And anybody who's been on training, you'll see me do this. Yeah. Bit of adhesive on my finger. At the moment, there's no grab in that whatsoever. Okay. But as the moisture starts evaporating out of that, it will start becoming sticky. It's always important, don't be tempted to just go in too early, just give it a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, yeah, just to drop that in, and away to go. So UZIN 54, ideal for that. I don't know if anybody's commented behind the scenes in regards to what I did with the bucket. For anyone that didn't notice, and I know we've all done this in the past, I'm no prima donna, I've done it myself. I've scooped the adhesive off the floor, and I've put it back into the bucket. So I could have picked up some contamination off the floor, and believe it or not, you might not realise this, certainly in some sensitive buildings you work in, you could be picking bacteria up, and you're putting it into the bucket. And I'm sure we've all had it sometimes where we put the lid off the bucket and it's been sat in the van for a few weeks or whatever before we use it again, and you're almost getting like mould off the top. And that's probably because you picked up some bacteria off the floor. So it's good practice really, when you scoop it off, you should put that in an old bucket and get rid of it. Yeah, shouldn't be going back in the drum. And so if you guys that do a lot of LVT vinyl sheets, you don't want little bits that you picked up on the floor going under your vinyls and so on. So that's UZIN 54. It spreads really well. I can't say all the rest because it has got, you know, there is a smell, but it's safe for the environment and all that, as you say. And it's a carpet adhesive. It's out there, cost effective, great coverage. That's that product. And, you know, it's an adhesive from UZIN, which we're renowned for. Okay. Next one is I wish I spread to the door. Yeah. For any experienced fitters out there, surprised you haven't commented on that. Yeah. Roll it on there for a minute. One of the things we'll do tonight, we're going to run a bit of a competition later. I'll put in a question, probably get some answers, and we're going to give something away, so stay tuned for that. just while we're just waiting for that to air off, as you say, don't forget we deliver training here, a vast range of courses. Log on to our website, get hold of one of our brochures, have a look at it, and don't be frightened to get yourself booked on the course. But if you're looking for a bespoke course, something in that brochure or something out there doesn't suit what you require, or for your company or for your teams, please give us a call, give me a ring, and we can design a course dedicated for what you guys want to do. And we're getting a lot of requests for that at the moment. So I'm going to drop that in now. Initially, just make sure it's gone into place. And this is now when you get your carpet glide out, or your pressure board, or your cork board, you just push that out. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Just to make sure it's in. Hopefully we'll have a look at what the grab's like. I don't think there's any need for me to spread the other side. It's an adhesive, you'll see what it does. Just bear with me a second, I'll just grab a cork board and rub it over. Oh. So I haven't disappeared, I'm coming back. Okay, great little thing, carpet of vinyl. There you go, and then we'll trim it in, but we'll come back to that in a little while. Okay with that. So while you guys are just gonna, have you put the data sheet up yet? You've had that, so if you just want to do the camera switch round now, yeah, just while we're doing that, and then we're gonna have a look at another adhesive that we've launched, which is a bit more of a multi-purpose vinyl carpet, even lino adhesive. So we're gonna move down that way, guys, now, and I'll follow you down. I'll just get some wipes for the trowel. Just while they're doing that, I'll drop that on there. Just while frame of this tuned in, even if you're tuning in over the weekend and you can watch by, hopefully you'll still be able to hear me when they're moving the cameras. If there's any subjects or topics that you'd like us to cover, or things you're having issues with out there on the site and you'd like us to, you know, have a look into that, or come up with systems, then don't be frightened to drop a message in the box and we can cater something for you guys. One of the other things as well is we're getting asked a lot now, and you guys are probably getting asked more than us, about these new modern underfloor heating systems. And I know some manufacturers have got systems for them, but like all manufacturers, you know, it's hard work to keep up with all these systems that are coming out. So let me come down there, and we can just go through in regards to what I'm thinking. So what I've been doing behind the scenes is we've been doing a lot of testing, a lot of working with certain types of boards, and we've come up with systems here at UZIN for these low-level boards, for both your cement type and your XPS types to certain degrees. So I think it would be good if one of our next Facebook Lives covers the information that you require for that in regards to the thickness of the board, you know, the thickness of compounds over the board, and all these things that nobody seems to be able to answer the questions for. So if it's something you're interested in, drop us a message and then we can look at focusing on that on our next Facebook Live. So what we've got here is a new one. $2,428 new. We've even written it on the bucket. Okay, I've got all sorts of hand gestures going at me at the moment. It's the T428 new. It can be used on vinyl sheet, vinyl, carpet, which we'll have a look at this afternoon or this evening in regards to what we do. Again, we've updated it. We've always had 2428, but we've just updated it. Okay, so it's giving it some more benefits. Again, it's EC1 Plus, but it's got the wheel, so it's marine certified, because the older one wasn't. Okay, so it's just got, you know, it's like anything, just improving things, making things better and stuff like that. So, in regards to using multi-purpose adhesives, I'll just find my gloves. Keep disappearing. In regards to using multi-purpose adhesives, really it's all about your trowel size. If you're doing vinyl sheet, it's an A2 trowel. Doing maybe some vinyl, like I've got here, that could switch to a B1. And if you're doing carpet again, that could be a B1 or a B2. So what we'll do, I'll just pull some back. You can see the adhesive being spread and go down. Not that the fact that you need much. You've probably all spread adhesive before. But again, you've got the trowel blades. Well guys, if you're ever struggling to get the right size of trowel blade, just remember all your distributors, where you've got your Wolf walls and you've got your walls with Wolf tools, the blades are readily available on there. Okay, so always easy accessible to get them. Remember, on concrete, about 50 square metres, and the notches wear out, and on plywood, you're probably looking at 70 square metres. So think about the amount of trowel blades you're going to need per job, and put it in your price. Let's just drop them in there for a minute, while I've got ready. You see some more tools here, which we're going to look at after, for anybody that's never seen these before. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fold this back. I'll pre-cut it in. Going to make sure it's not trapping around the door. Like so, got some lino here. I've pre-cut it in. Hopefully it's not going to shrink tonight. It was all back rolled, so hopefully it's going to stop that happening. Conditions are right. One of my favourite materials to work with back in the day, my fitting days. So like I said, other thing guys to think about as well, and I don't think we do it enough in the industry, when you open some of the adhesives sometimes you see quite a bit of liquid on the top. It's been sat for a while, and all the moisture just comes to the surface. Always good to stir them. We stirred these earlier on today. Just going to get my trowels now. Already, I'm not doing very well. Oh, it's over here. I know it is. So, we also do these types, okay, as well. One of the things we get here a lot, hopefully it's going to work on camera. A lot of people, when they pour the glue out, they strike it around the bucket and glue's all over there. I'll give it a try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Pour it out, get my trowel ready. I'm just going to cut it off. Yep. Again, minimal odor, solvent free. Okay, you shouldn't really be having solvents in adhesives now. It's not good for your health. I remember when I was, for anybody that knows me, I remember I was in college and I did a bit of research on solvents and adhesives and what they can actually do to your health. It's quite interesting, really. Well, I'm just spreading this, wherever my assistant's gone. Can you just do me a favour? Can you just pull half the carpet back all the way along on that side of the room for me, please? So just like I have, but on the opposite side. Even with this adhesive through, it's got my back to them. Okay, tend not to put it back in there. It'll need an airing time to work with. I'm just going to spread a bit more now. You notice, why I was keen to do this is, you will really notice the difference between the notch sizes. That's it, just fold that over there. Super. Again, we'll try it again. So we now switch, because vinyl sheet, very smooth back, to an A2. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the difference in your notch sizes. And why do we change notches? It's about the backing, it's about the bond it needs. So if we look at the lino's got a bit of a dupe backing on it, so the adhesive needs to soak into there. So we need more adhesive to soak into that product. So this is fine for vinyl sheet, it's fine for carpets, tissue vinyl can be used for, and as you see there, as you can see, lino as well. And guys, one of the things I want to get across tonight, and we've all done it, we're all eager sometimes to get our vinyl in and spread the other half, but it is really, really important, and I've said it before, that it has an airing time. Oh. Leave them sitting there, we'll clean them off after. Oh, I need a bit more there. Curse me in a minute. Scrape that off into the tub. Okay, so this is B1, A1, sorry, A2. You see the difference in the notch size. Think about how far you're getting out your trowel, and I'll always give you an adhesive and airing time. Just needs that moisture, so don't go in too quickly. And all on our data sheets, it'll tell you what the airing times are, but they're usually between 5 and 10 minutes, just that evaporation. That'll vary on site conditions in regards to that. Any questions? No? You've noticed it's started to just sticky quite quickly, that one. Alright, so we'll jump into that one. Just finish that one off. Just to show you it can be used in both environments. Again, I've switched back to a B2 for this. B2, B1, you might see the screen, there doesn't look a lot in it. There isn't. Just while I'm spreading this as well, guys, we've still got your 2000S, we've still got your K49, for your vinyl work and for your LVTs and stuff like that. But at the moment there is a bit of an offer on it. You get an extra 10% free in the bucket, so you get the bigger buckets, so worth thinking about. I'll do that. I'm afraid they can't see behind the scenes. My assistant is cursing now because I put the trowels on the lids and he's having to clean them off. Never enough, never enough. So good all-round adhesive, worth keeping a bucket in your van. It'll get you by. Whatever job you're doing, really. The only thing we say with this, shouldn't be doing LVTs with it. Stick with your old favourites, 2000S66 or K49HT. Okay, let's move that out of the way. I know. Okay. In regards to a competition, we always like to give something away. This is where our marketing department starts getting a little bit nervous. So I'm sure we can find some goodies to give away. I think, you know, guys like buckets and stuff like that. So I think we can sort of put some buckets in, and maybe a couple of knives to go with that tonight. Okay, a nice shiny wolf knife which everybody likes. So we've got a question. So the question I'm going to ask tonight, for anybody that was listening, how many square metres approximately do you get out of an A2 trowel before it wears out on plywood? Okay, alright, just want to think about it. I did mention it, it is in there, you can always replay it and listen to it again. Put your name in the part, answer the question, we'll pick it out randomly and we'll let you know if you've won, and I'm sure by the time we finish that I might have found some more goodies to go in your pot. Okay. So again, ideally, and I'm conscious of time, I'd like to give it a little bit more airing time, but I'm just initially going to drop that in there. Again, get your carpet glide, or your corkboard. I'm just going to give you a bit of a health and safety tip, and this happened to me. Apparently we get a lot of cases of this in hospitals, and none of us ever thinks of this. When you're putting carpet down, or fitting carpet, you should have goggles on, because you can get a carpet fibre in your eye, and it is terrible. It's quite painful, very uncomfortable, and it's very difficult for the hospital to get them out. Okay? So you should really be wearing goggles when you're fitting carpets too. Random information, I know. just going to trim that in. I'm not going to cut it all in. You don't want to watch me fit carpet. I'm sure you're all capable of that. I'm sure there'll be some people telling me that I'm doing it wrong. We always get one of them. But when you're on jobs and you're doing big jobs, this could be a corridor in a school, hospital, or people's homes, or even small rooms. You have tools sometimes that can make your life easier. I did wonder about this when I first joined UZIN. I have to be honest, it's absolutely a great bit of kit. I'm sure we've all had carpet cutters of various types before. We've had the Arizur type with the two pieces of plastic, the blade either side or a plastic handle. There are various others, the one that sits on a bit of an angle. This is well built. Hopefully I've set it up properly today. I'm just going to run it down the floor. Yes, you've got to do the last bit yourself, yeah, but to do a main wall, it's quite easy and quite simple. So let me just check. So if you want to now put the camera in, of course I'd set it up properly. I'll just trim off them bits so you can see. That tool there is called the Easy Cut. It can do cushion vinyls, it can do carpets and stuff like that. And you leave it to me, and this is where I cut it short. No, it still fits. Yep. Yeah, I did say it earlier. I'm trying not to give the answer away to the question, but yes, you get more longevity on plywood than you do on sand, cement, screeds and concrete floors and smoother compounds. Okay, but you're on the right track. That's 2428. I'm just going to drop that in. Technicals off. Now, when I do these, I don't like to be these all about marketing and selling stuff. I want people to understand. Yeah, we're going to switch to this bay now. If you can get to that one, yeah, it'd be good to see this. But there's all things that we do ourselves and we don't realise we're doing it sometimes that can cause us problems in regards to installation and further field, and maybe give us some extra work in regards to later on down the line. And I've done it myself. That's one thing, you know, I've done these things and you learn by them. You can get people that will just flop that in over the top, but what that's going to do is trap a lot of air underneath that, and then you're going to spend the next hour trying to get rid of bubbles. So ideally we want to be sort of working it in, not too pressured, not too much pressure on this type of product, and then just drop it in. Now to push the air out. Now any of these systems, whether it's a carpet or so on, really, with even in the contract world, either a glide on your carpets, heavy glide, depending on the type of carpet, fibre bond and stuff like that, you might still use a heavy roller. But when you're doing linos, vinyl sheets, nothing replaces the, you know, you can use these initially, and this is the way to get the air out, not a roller, okay? But always to finish off, you have to roll the floor with a heavy roller, okay? And it's still in the British standard. But these are a great bit of kit, pushing the air out, and I've always used one of these since I've been a trainee. Just get the air out. This chases the air. A lot of people think the heavy rollers get rid of the air, but what you find, for those experience you've had this, as you're rolling over here, you get to the bubble and the bubble just moves, and you roll away. With this, you can chase the air out. You can see the bubble in front of you. Now, for anybody out there that was wondering what this funny tool was, Yeah, it's called a rubbing hammer. Okay, designed certainly for linos and stuff like that. It's a bit weird. It's blunt on there, nice and smooth. And these were designed again pushing the air out. So it's another thing in regards to that. So various bits of kit. And don't forget, it's over there, we still have the pressure roller that you can use as well. But 3 of them, great bit of kit. But remember, when you're trying to get rid of air, this type of thing is your best thing to go over your floor first of all. And you probably can't see from the camera, okay? But on the camera, from what we can see here, already I'm seeing that a little bit of a change of colour. It's almost going a little bit more transparent, the adhesive. So I know it's had its airing time, okay? It's not a pressure sensitive, it's wet set. Obviously on a big job, or on a job, I'd probably be just sweeping the backs off just to make sure I've got no bits of grit underneath. And again, all I'm going to do is roll that in, making sure it's following my joint. And again, just push the air out. There was a good example there. I don't know whether the camera picks that up, but there is a bubble there. Yeah, so you'll notice it moves as I go across. And then what I'd probably do, what I would do, I'd spread the other side, do all that. I'd push the air out again with the corkboard or the rubbing hammer or even the pressure roller, but these are better really. And then I'd get the big roller on it to finish it off before I left the job. Okay. Just remember when we're welding, we should be leaving it overnight before we weld the next day. Okay. For the adhesive to fully cure. And I'm sure you've had this sometimes. What you'll be trying to do is weld that too early and that adhesive is pushing through the joint and your weld's never going to stick properly. Okay. So that's Facebook Live. That's our new products to the system. Not some exciting stuff that we've done before, but it's there. There's loads more we can do. I've got loads of plans this year for more Facebook Lives, and you're going to see more from us. The next one we're probably going to look at these underfloor heating systems, which I think is something to get some information out there for you guys just to help you when you're getting asked about these things. The next one we're probably going to do something really different, if I can swing it here. Okay, I'm going to take you to Germany. Yeah, we're going over to Germany and we're going to see how it's done over there on a Facebook Live. We'll beam from Germany over here and you can see the factory, hopefully, fingers crossed, and you'll see what we do. Yeah, but don't tell anybody yet because I haven't asked. Okay, I have really. Alright, so that's it from us. The question's there. Do you want me to repeat it? I don't remember where it was now. Okay, so A2 travelway. On plywood, how many square metre coverage to get out of that blade before it's worn out? You need to replace it. Okay? Alright, and drop it in the box, in the comment box. We'll have a look at it sometime next week. So you've got a few days after the video's gone down to have a look at that. Our marketing team will get back to you and we'll get these buckets times out to you and we'll go from there. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you found that interesting. It's adhesive, it's not the most exciting subject in the world, but it really, really is quite important to use the right adhesive. Just before you go, I'm just going to ask one of the guys, and that was a nightmare with me and cameras tonight, can you just switch one of the cameras back to where we had the spillage? You can see it's just not doing anything, it's just sitting there, okay? So, you can see that. The problem I've got now, if that happens to you on a job, sorry, go back down here. If that happens to you on a job, is you're going to have to come back tomorrow. You're literally going to be scraping that off. and it will be like treacle, and then you're going to have to reapply another coat to the whole floor. And most of them types of DPMs from most manufacturers have the same effect if you do that. So just be careful if you get them spillages. So that's it from us here. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Thanks for giving up your time. I really appreciate that. Remember, we're here for you guys. We're here for training. Just give us a shout, give us a try, drop a message on the line, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's it from me. Thanks, guys, and thank you to everybody here for helping tonight. It's been a bit of a hectic night, but yeah. Cheers, guys.